Hi. Today I'm going to talk about a 2016 movie called Lady Macbeth. A young girl named Catherine is given in marriage to a man much older than her. Before going to bed, the girl is taken care of by a maid named Anna. Left alone, Catherine waits for her husband, who, upon entering the room, immediately makes it clear that the girl will stay home all the time and not go anywhere. Alexander demands that Anna take off her nightgown, whereupon the man turns off the light and lies down in bed. Anna spends her first day of marriage sitting on the windowsill and looking out the window. The next morning, Anna comes to Catherine's room to open the windows. Catherine is very dreary of such a gray and boring life. The only entertainment the girl has is a window with a view of nature and a fireplace, looking at which Catherine constantly falls asleep. From such a way of life, the girl quickly gets tired. Without waiting for the end of dinner, Catherine goes to her room, which does not please Boris, Alexander's father, which he expresses to Catherine, demanding from the girl not to fall asleep and wait for her husband in the bedroom. Catherine is followed by Anna, whom Boris orders to see that his request is carried out. After a while, a drunken Alexander appears in the room, demanding that Catherine remove her nightgown, sitting down next to the fireplace. Turning to face the wall as her husband demands, Catherine hears the sound of her pants unbuttoning behind her, after which Alexander begins to work with his hands. In the morning, Catherine asks Boris where her husband has gone. According to the old man, there was an explosion in one of the mines belonging to the family, where Alexander went. Tomorrow Boris is also leaving on business, so the girl will have to be alone on the estate for a while. As soon as the old man leaves the house, Catherine immediately goes outside, breathing fresh air for the first time in a long time. In the morning, Anna and another maid leave the house, and Catherine falls asleep in front of the fireplace as usual, but is awakened by the screams outside. On leaving the house, the girl hears voices in one of the buildings. Once inside, Catherine finds the farm workers and Anna wrapped in a sheet hanging in the middle of the room. Sebastian, pointing at Anna, says that they are weighing pigs. Catherine orders the girl to be released, after which she informs him that since they have wasted Alexander's time and money on this entertainment, the girl will now look after them. After a sleepless night, in the morning the girl goes for a walk, meeting Sebastian. His words about the house being on the other side are ignored by Catherine, smiling coquettishly. As night falls, the girl hears a knock on the door. On opening it, Catherine finds Sebastian, who pronounces that he is dying of boredom. Catherine tries to close the door, but the boy makes his way into her room. After cornering Catherine, Sebastian tries to kiss her, but the girl pushes the guy away, after which she pounces on him herself with kisses, hungry for male flesh. This is the first morning in the house when the girl wakes up happy. From that day on, they constantly meet sneakily with Sebastian, quenching their needs. While picking mushrooms in the early morning, Anna meets Sebastian walking his dogs. The girl hints that his secret meetings with his mistress may end badly, but all she gets in return is a threat. As night falls, Sebastian visits Catherine again, which the maid sees through the keyhole. In the morning, Anna enters Catherine's room, opening the casement and informing her that Lester Sr. has returned from a trip to London. At dinner, Boris asks Anna to bring him some champagne, which, in the absence of the men, Catherine has drunk. Without revealing her mistress, the maid is humiliated by Lester Sr., who forces the girl to get down on all fours like a beast. Upon learning of Catherine's adultery, Boris goes to the barn, where he beats Sebastian, after which he orders him locked up. On learning of this, Catherine demands that the old man release the worker, for which she receives a slap from Lester. Another of their quarrels ends with Boris retreating to his room and Catherine propping up the door with a chair. The girl then asks Anna to sit next to her, as she does not like to dine alone, beginning to question the maid about her family. Boris begins to knock on the door, informing her that he is unwell, but Catherine orders Anna to sit and not open the door. As soon as the shouting and knocking cease, Catherine sends her maid to fetch a doctor and runs to the barn, where Sebastian is locked up. The doctor arrives and has no choice but to confirm Lester Sr.'s death. Sometime later, Catherine receives a letter from Alexander, who cannot come to her father's funeral. The girl is sure that Alexander hated Boris, and that is the whole reason. After burying Lester Sr., Catherine almost openly begins to date the boy, and the maids discuss the death of the master, which Anna blames herself for, since that day Boris ate the mushrooms that the girl was picking, which made Anna lose her touch. Catherine tells Sebastian about this, assuring him that the maid will not be able to tell her master anything because of her illness. The girl confesses her love for him, saying that as long as she lives, she will never part with him and will follow him wherever he goes, even to the afterlife. One night Catherine wakes up to a noise. Looking out the window, the girl notices Alexander's horse from below. Waking Sebastian, Catherine sends him to the back room and waits for her husband, telling him that she woke up because of the sound of a horse. Looking at Catherine, Alexander notices that she is noticeably rounder than she was before his departure. The girl goes to get tea, during the drinking of which Alexander confesses that he knows about the girl's infidelity, for which he threatens to throw Sebastian out. Since Alexander knows everything, Catherine goes to the back room to get the guy, whom she puts on the bed. With his pants off, Catherine climbs on top of Sebastian in front of Alexander. Enraged, Lester beats the girl and then begins to fight Sebastian, but Catherine, grabbing a shrew, kills her husband, whose breathless body Sebastian buries in the woods. To conceal the traces of Alexander's return, Catherine takes her husband's horse into the woods, where she kills the animal. Since then, Sebastian has been plagued by insomnia, but Catherine claims that Alexander wanted to kill the boy himself, but they beat him to it. Now they are entitled to live a happy life, which a few days later is disrupted by a woman named Agnes. She brings a boy named Teddy to Catherine's house, informing her that he is the son and heir of Lester Jr., who used to date Teddy's mother, which Catherine cannot believe, but Agnes has official documents attesting to this. Sebastian believes that the woman is lying about Teddy, as Alexander could only have gotten her pregnant by his hand. With the boy's presence in the house, Sebastian refuses to date Catherine. If they get caught, the boy will have to leave, so while Teddy is here, Catherine will have to forget about dating. Watching the boy and the maid play in the morning, Catherine notices Sebastian walking with Anna. The girl runs out into the street, where Teddy begins to molest her, which Catherine pushes away, causing the boy to run away in tears. Without Sebastian to shout at her, Catherine returns to her room, where the maid later arrives to tell her that they cannot find Teddy. They go in search of the boy, whom Sebastian finds by the waterfall. Looking at the boy in the raging river, a sinister plan develops in the boy's mind, but his conscience takes over. Sebastian brings Teddy into the house, where he is scolded by Agnes for asking the boy to bring a blanket because the boy has a bad cold. Unwilling to endure the humiliation, Sebastian is about to leave the manor, telling Catherine about a perfectly good opportunity to kill the Lester heir that he did not take advantage of, but Catherine stops him. Entering the room where Agnes is on duty at Teddy's bedside, Catherine persuades the woman to sleep and she will look after the boy in the meantime. When Agnes leaves, Catherine lets Sebastian into the room through the window, with whom they dispose of the little heir. Sitting down next to Teddy, Catherine waits until dawn until Anna appears in the room. At the same time, feeling guilty, Sebastian weeps over Alexander Lester's grave, then rushes to the manor, where Catherine tricks the doctor into believing she fell asleep, and when she wakes, Teddy was already dead. Pointing to the boy's fresh bruises, the doctor asks Catherine if anyone could have broken into the room while the girl was asleep. At that moment, Sebastian rushes in and confesses to the crime, giving away Catherine as well, telling the doctor and the detective about the murders of Alexander and Boris Lester, whom Catherine poisoned with mushrooms. The girl rebuffs, saying that mushrooms were always collected by Anna, while Sebastian went with the maid to the woods every morning. It is possible that Anna poisoned Lester Sr., for the day before the old man severely beat the boy and locked him in the barn. Anna can refute if it is not so, except that the maid after the death of Boris Lester is speechless and can neither confirm nor deny anything, for which reason Anna and Sebastian are exiled to hard labor, after which the other servants leave the manor, leaving the pregnant Catherine alone in the house. This is where the film ends. Thank you for watching and see you on the channel.